actual enemy is not any force exterior to ourselves, but our own crying weakness and our coward, selfish, or hypocrisy. Sentimentalism, safety lines and intending towards our highest and not in resting content with inferior, to rest in our follow after or seem safe, rational, comfortable, or badly in some futility or more, circling down to the abyss in the stagnant world, company in the natural road is towards the summits. My God is love and sweetly suffers all. Christ's kingdom of heaven are, upon earth, perfect health, sincerity, honesty, straightforwardness, courage and disheartedness, unselfishness, patience, and endurance, and perseverance, peace, calm, self-controlling are all things that are taught infinitely better by example, by beautiful speeches, in action. The divine truth is greater than any religion or creed or scripture or idea or philosophy. The first principle of truth, teaching is that nothing can be taught. The great strongest when they stand alone, the God-given might of being their force. The whole world yearns after the freedom, and each creature is in love with the chains, and that is first paradox and not of our nature. Our human knowledge is candle burnt on a dim altar to a sun, vast truth. Peace is the first condition without which nothing else can be stable. Do not belong to the past dawns, but to the noon's future. A quiet mind does not mean that there will be no thoughts or mental movements at all, but at least they will be on surface. And you will feel true being within, separate from them, observing not carried away. But yet, few are those who tread the sunlit path where only the pure soul can walk the light. For the man is transitional in being, and he is not final. The step from man to being Superman is the next approaching achievement for the next evolution. It's inevitable that is once the intention of the inner spirit, the logic of the nature's process. Life is life, when a cat and dog, and the idea of a difference in the conception of a man's own advantage. The supreme state of human love is the unity of one soul and two bodies. The progressive growth of the infinite consciousness of a man towards the self-love is the universal, internal, infinite in the word growth in the spiritual consciousness by the development of the ordinary ignorance, natural being illuminated in divine nature, and this is for the significance of the life and the aim of human existence, and everyone has him, something in divine, something of the only chance for perfection of something in the how. The spirit which God offers him to take or refuse. The task is to find and develop it and use. The education should be the help growing soul to drawing out this self from making perfect and noble use. What the soul sees and has experienced, that it knows that its appearance and prejudice and opinion. The first and most important thing is to know that the life is immortal. Only the forms are countless and number are transient and brittle. The life shall everlasting and independent from manifestation of itself in all forms. Life then does not die, but the forms are dissolved. By the stumbling, the world is perfect. Which too, indignant, righteous, before long you will find them committing it, condoning in the very offense which they have so fiercely censured. Life is life. In order to see, you have to stop being in the middle of the picture. It is true that the existence consists only in the action of the energy, or is it rather that the energy is an output of existence? With the powers of our mind and body are bound to limitations on however high that may rise or however widely expand. They cannot rise beyond them, but still mental. Man cannot open to what is beyond him and call down the supernatural light and truth and power to the work of him. The mind cannot. If mind cannot be, by effort become what is beyond mind. He descends into transformation into his own substance. Each victory gained over one's means new strength to gain over more victories by stumbling. Evolution, consciousness, the central motive to extraterrestrial existence, and existence of the poverty is the proof of an adjustment of an ill-organized society and the public charities, but all first tardy awakening in the conscience of a robber. Being conscious of yourself first within, think and acting. All living thought is a world, but the preparation, the real act is the thought of manifestation. The manifestation of the material world exists because an idea began to play in divine self. In your consciousness, and while doing work, when the mind continues to be active, to be, but there must be at the same time capacity for the silence. To listen. To listen to this about people, then would imagine that God never laughs. of the heart, but my love is the craving of the flesh, and it came to me for the God returns. The deeper we look and born, and we shall convince that one thing wanting we shall strive to acquire before all others. Strength, physical, mental. The source, we have strength in everything else that we added naturally. All fantasies is false because it's a contradiction of the very nature of the God and truth. The divine being, the external, universal, and the infinite cannot be sole property of the religion or that happened to be in form or line of anything the prophets or the founders of the supreme end of the freedom of the spirit. Step aside and watch the working of the divine power within yourself. The true state of divine man, and the end is the beginning. But in between it will lead us straight to the devil and the kingdom if you genius enough to discover the system and average and talent stereotypes of the shadowed by freshness. Care not for the time of success. Act out the part whether not to fail or to be prosperous. All thoughts, desires, attachments come from outside must be ruthlessly pushed away. Sin, virtue, or game of resistance to play with. We play with God in his efforts to draw his soul towards perfection. Love being the keynote, joys in the music and the knowledge of the performer. The infinite all is the composer and the audience. The atheist is the God playing at the hide and seek with himself. You sit in the meditation but do not think. Look at your mind and you will see the thoughts and before they can enter these away from the mind until your mind is capable enough to enter the silence. Sit in the meditation. The one who loves God is the object to love everywhere. Delight the secret. Learning of the pure delight and doubt you learn to God, and now was to commence with the whole matter in existence and multiply himself for the sight of the sheer delight, being plunged into nebulous. Death is only the changing of the robes of weight, wedding garments for the external gates, and the only work that we spiritually purifies is the work that's done without personal motives. Outside and above the mind is where the play of the consciousness and the light be higher truth, but conscious of it has to be something to do for yourself and the people who live within, be shaken by outer happenings, and the mind of an ordinary man is truly nearly the heart. The soul of a man is greater in its fate. Detachment is the beginning of the mastery. We cannot afford to raise any institutions to rank the fetish, and to do so will be simply slaves of our own machinery. The spiritual path is only falling in the face, getting up, brushing yourself off, and looking at the sheeples of the God and taking the next step. Trust the divine power, and she will be free. She will free the godlike elements in the shape into an expression of the divine nature, and the difficulties are made to overcome the supreme will as there will be overcome. But difficulties remain to overcome. And if the supreme will is there, they will be overcome. The fly that touches the honey cannot use its wings, so to the soul that clings to the spiritual sweetness ruins its freedom and hinders its contemplation. A thought, an arrow, shot at the truth. It can't hit a point, but never cover the whole target, but the archer is too well satisfied with the success to ask anything further for the learning of the lessons and the existence of the manifestation of God. For religion is not universal, it cannot be external. A narrow religion, a sectarian religion, and exclusive, can live only for the limited time and the limited purpose. Arise yourself, transcend I. Thou art man, and the whole nature of a man to become himself. When I personally had the divine and reasoning eye for many things, and ever I had lost in the sight, I hunted through the world and ugly and have repelled. I can no longer find them, for I perceive the miraculous development of this is the result of my own efforts, and external perfection is molding into its own image. I have to create the strength where it did not exist before. We have to change our natures and become the new man with the new hearts to be born again. We need a nucleus in the man with the whom Shakti development with the utmost extent, and whose fill every corner with personality overflows with earth. This having fire over glowing hearts, brains will go forth carrying the flame of every nook and every cranny of our land, and they prove to be convincing reasons that God does not exist. And afterwards I saw, I came, I feel, I embrace me, and now that's what I am to believe in the reasoning of others and only the experience. This is my soul seen and experience, and this is the rest of the appearance of
So I come to you, my love.
you.